with me as we recreate a Victorian farmer's smock. My name is V. Tanner. I'm a sewing teacher and costume maker. Bookmark this so you can come back to it later. We started off with this folkwear pattern. After cutting everything out, one of the first challenges we had was transferring over the embroidery patterns. So the embroidery patterns they provided, they look like that, and we tried all sorts of different ways to transfer the pattern onto the fabric. We tried transfer paper, but it didn't really work. So I came across a guy who was making templates out of something called mylar, and he made us a template. These are the templates that he made us. It's like a thin plasticky thing, and he's used a laser cutter to cut out the pattern so that we can just use a heat erasable pen and transfer the pattern really easily onto the fabric like this. That's what it looks like once we've transferred it, and then it makes it much easier to embroider, and it ends up looking like this. So there's embroidery on the cuffs, on the collar, and on the side here, what's called the box of the front and the backs. So the next challenge for smocking is to get these grids which are on the pattern pieces to be transferred onto the fabric, which again we had the same problem because of the pen marks not going through very well on here. We tried drawing lines with a ruler, found it really tricky. So we went back to our man who made us the templates, and he created us a template. This is the template that he created. It's a grid of dots with holes in them that are 1/4 inch apart. So we can just place that on the fabric and use the heat erasable pen and mark all the dots. The next thing you do is a running stitch along all those dots. And then when you've done separate running rows, and we use different coloured thread to alternate the rows so that you didn't go cross-eyed trying to find your right line. So once you've done all the lines, then you gather it up. A few of our sewers have been fortunate enough to be taught smocking when they were at school. So there was a few tips that we picked up, like using a pin to sort of do like a shank tie of the threads to keep them tight, because you want those pleats to be very, very tight. Then once it's all pleated, then you can apply the embroidery stitches. The pattern provided you with a number of different embroidery stitches, so that's pretty much what we did, like this. So once all the embroidery is applied, the gathering stitches can all be pulled out and you end up with this kind of fabric here. That's the front, back, and I've got 2 sleeves, I've got collars, I've got cuffs, there's gussets as well. So I'm now ready to stitch all of these together to make an actual smock. Like and follow so that you get to see the final reveal.